All right. So, couldn't sleep. Ugh. Now it's day 5 of 75 hard. I'm doing good. My mind is clearing. My mind is clearing. So, today, which is going to be in I guess, technically it's now. It'll start probably in about 7 hours. I got some objectives here for the studio. So that last video with the mystery amp, not really a mystery amp. Actually, it was in the thumbnail, but I've got a reissued 800 JCM 800 2203X, perfect mint condition. The guy said it's barely been used. It's just they bought it and it just sat. So it's got the effects loop. But somebody in the video said, I bet you dump it in a month or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I hope I like. When I was a kid, I was a JCM 800 half stack guy, and I toured for a long time with two of them. I had 2 heads and 2 slant cabinets, 412s, a little stereo rig, and I actually played with a guy. He was the main guitar player. I was the singer guitar player, and he had carve-ins. Yeah. It's not a good day when your singer spanks you. But man, the carve-ins, they're all right. To me it sounded like a Black Star. Had like a weird kind of covered process thing or something in the 800s. Was I 800s or Jubilees at the time? I think I was 800s. Yeah, it was just like roar. So anyway, we'll see. I hope it's good. All right, so what I want to do today is, because I've got the songs I've got to learn for this band audition that was supposed to be on the 3rd, now it's been pushed to the 24th. And it's like Carry On Your Wayward Son, Barracuda, Renegade by Styx. Take It Easy, kind of a variety of tunes. Kind of 70s and 80s, like radio hard rock. Journey. Doing Here We Stand, where he's playing the keyboards on the wall. Separate ways. So anyway, after this past Sunday with church, and got to get and the thing is that when I played at church this past Sunday, I brought the FM9 for the first time. The thing that was weird, it felt, well, there were a couple things, and we talked about this. I've been using the telly, but because the piano player was playing a grand piano, and this is an old, cathedral style church, a lot of low end, and the telly was nice because it cut, and he, with the grand piano was all this womp, but he's been playing a keyboard, but also on Sunday he didn't show up. So I was by myself, really, because it's you got the worship leader strumming an acoustic, and you got bass and drums, and that was it. So it was a little barren. But the other thing that I realized after it, and I contacted the worship leader, and I said, the line was coming from another angle. Like normally the line is right, the XLR is right by me, and because you can either plug a mic in and put it in front of somebody's amp, or you can plug it straight into a Helix or whatever, an Axe-Fx. Because there's a couple of us that play. Some of us are using these modeler things. Some of them are using amps. Well, this line came around the front, and then also, because I didn't play the week prior, there was a chair where I stand, and the music stand was all the way to the bottom. And I was like, oh, shoot. After it was all done, I was like, oh, man, I bet either that upright bass or that cellist was there. And I thought, oh, EQ'd for them. So it was like I was like fighting a very uphill battle, and I did talk to the guy, and I said, maybe, because I felt they liked it. I didn't like it. I felt very strange. So no more Telecaster. This is what I'm going to use at church. And it also got me thinking about wanting to do 2 amps. I'm going to show you how this works. My buddy taught me how to do this. So this is the Rock Band preset, right? This is the gain channel. That little bit of reverb, that may be a little bit too long, but that little bit of reverb really helps these. Yeah, that's good. That little bit of reverb really helps these, these modelers and whatever these things are called, because especially if you're like in ears, like there's no amp. That's one thing that's weird. It feels real stark, like very separated. Where if I'm playing through like a JCM 800 half stack and it's 10 feet behind me, by the time it gets to me, there's stuff going on. Whether or not I'm playing dry or not is irrelevant. It's not coming to me dry. So that, I think Leon Todd was really a proponent talking about this, a little bit of like. And that sounds like a lot, but when you actually get in the setting, it's probably not. And I'm going to bring my laptop with me to this audition so I can kind of change, I can adjust things on the fly, but I think we're close. But I did think, I want to get a multi-amp going on. So this is the way it works. So if anybody knows, this is the input. So there's where like guitar in, and then it goes all the way to here, and then you'll see it's sending. So it's basically like 2 lines, right? And then it's out here. Now the way I work this is the front. This is like my pedal board before the amps, like, volume pedal, compressor, overdrives, if I can put choruses there, whatever I want. And then after this, I treat it more like the loop, like a chorus is rotary, delays, reverbs. So I get to here, and then it used to just go amp and then cab and then over. And the amp that I have was the Brit 800, really nice amp. And it was going into my cab, which is the LTTV7 and the Ownhammer 412 Recto. Really nice combo. So what I did was I said, let me do this. Let me make a double. So I split it off. So you'll see this is like amp 1 kind of. Yeah, because you'll see it in the mixer. Amp 1 into cab 1 down into the mixer. And then amp 2 into cab 2. So amp 2 is the Atomica. Because I wanted to get a little bit more. It may be too much, but then you go to the mixer. So coming out of the 2 amps, they're going into a mixer. Because remember, this is stereo. But, so you'll see there's rows here. Row 1 through 6. They signify row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So row 1 is this Brit 800. So this would be the gain and the volume and everything. And then row 2 is the Atomica. So if I go back to the mixer, I've got row 1 through 6 volume, row 1 through 6 pan. This is a great way to do the stereo amp thing with Axe Effects. Now, there may be some other ways that people are more whoop-de-doo. This is great for me. As opposed to like if I wanted to do it in stereo, instead of doing panning cabs, everybody goes in mono and then I pan it at the mixer. My buddy Nate taught me this, and I think this is just killer. So now everything's up the middle. Why is everything up the middle? You see balance up the middle. 1 is the 800, 2 is the Atomica. Why are they up the middle? Because it's going to be mono. Rock bands, right? Gigging. Usually It's always mono. I mean, maybe some people are set up in stereo. Maybe some churches are set up in stereo, but most gigs it's mono. So here's both of them pretty even. Really nice with 2 amps, and it's like, it's not a volume thing. You can turn the 1 amp up to be the same level, it won't sound the same. I remember watching the video with this mixer, and he had like, on his SSL he had like 5 or 6 tracks of bass. Like he had bass DI, bass distort, bass octave, bass amp, bass guitar amp. And I just, from watching the way he was doing, I realized, oh yeah. And then I had an SSL, so I know what it is. It's like, if you have a signal on one track and you turn it up to unity gain, you get a certain level. If you get multiple signals that are similar to it or correlate to it, and you get those all up to where your volume is about 0, the multi one is going to sound like more intense, probably, and even sound louder, feel louder, because it's just more iron. It's that simple. So same principle here. So I got these 2 amps. Left again is the 800. Right is the Atomica. If I go to my mixer, they're both up the middle. But now I can go left, which would now be the 800, and right would be the Atomica. Now the volume's just a little bit off because when I was setting up this profile, I like the Atomica a little under the 800. And from here, you obviously could put in like delays. You could probably put in a little ping ponger, get some ping pong. And so now I've futzed with some stuff. This is how I do it. I go up and I go back down. And now I'm back to my preset. I didn't want to accidentally save it with such shenanigans. Ooh, that sounds nice. Right, so I'm back to my dotted eighth. Okay, so that's the game. You'll see here I'm on channel A for this amp, I'm on channel A for this amp, I'm on channel A for this cab, which is the Leon Todd and the Own Hammer closed back 412s, and I'm also on the same thing here, the Leon Todd. So it's all the same, right? Now, this is my scene 1, which is crunch. You see it there. Now if I go to scene 2, you'll see it goes to B. You see how over here it turned to B? Crunch, A, clean. Now B is divided by 13 and a deluxe reverb. And they're both going into these like kind of York Audio 212s, and you'll see that they're now are on to cab B. So it's just A and B. It's real simple. It's just like it's just like a channel switching amp, like clean dirty. That's it. It's that simple. And the reason I like this, it's all the same. You'll see it's right down here. I go crunch, back to A, clean. The layout is so simple because a lot of times I'm singing. Like I can't have some pedal board. I see some of these guys pedal boards with all these little pedals and they're frontwards and they're upside down and backwards and sideways and like, how are you going to get your foot in there to get that freaking echo? Unless you're just a nerd. Unless you're a nerd. I mean, like, you're just a nerd. Like, you're just staring at your pedal board. You can't do it. Can't do it. Especially if I start wearing, like, those big old, I wear combat boots. They're like that wide. Just kidding. The FM9 is good. It's wide enough. I think the Helix is, everything's a little wider, which probably is even a little bit better. The Helix is a little hard for me to sometimes see. Everything, it's just like black on black on black. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, so there it is. So this is the whole concept of how to running multi-amp. And then you utilize this mixer. And it's really simple, and then that's it. Crocs. I'm trying to get my pedal sliding away. Get back here! So there's rock. Single coil. Here we go. Stereo Rock Band. That's going to be great. And then I did the same thing here on my church preset. I just added an extra amp. So the Crunch is the 800 and a Friedman, kind of lower gain Friedman, same configuration, the 412s, and everything's on A. You see, it's all on A. So the key with this for me is that they're all the same. So then if I join another band, they're like, oh, we wanted heavier, more Mesa. Okay, then I'll just switch out amps, and it's the exact chorus is always in the same spot, delays, reverbs, overdrives, all the same, basically. So there it is. So here's, it's going to have more ambience, a little delay. That's actually mild. Some of these church guys, whoa. And then clean. So that's kind of where I'm at. Guess if you have any questions, you could ask them. I've got a solo boost on all of these presets. On this one, so you'll see at the end, here's a GEQ, which has just a 3 dB boost and a little bump at like kind of 1 and 2K. So if I put that, I put it in, it goes from this. Gives it a little bit of a bump for solos. And that's it. Rock Band. That's sounding nice. That is sounding real nice. We're getting there. All right, so last thing. God, I used to enjoy YouTube so much with guitar. I don't anymore. It's not like 99% of everything I see on YouTube now is just sales stuff, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of taking some of the fun out of it. I don't know. I get it. Everybody's trying to make a living. I get it, but I don't know. It's just I've lost interest in, all the sales. All the music stores have channels, which that's cool, and it's, some of them I love that pedal show. That's probably, I love that pedal show. Yeah, they had Johnny Marr on, the dude from the band. Yeah, but yeah, I have definitely lost interest. It's just I used to go on and be all, I don't know, I just dig it, and now I just don't. It's like, I don't know, how many, I don't know. And I get it, man. But it's just become marketing. And it's like, I guess I've been on for 20 years, over 20 years. My original channel got kiboshed by a girl that I fired that worked for me because she was crazy, and she was a hacker. So she had hacked into she put a worm in my system before I fired her. I should have known, because she talked about doing it to other people. But she got my keystrokes, so she ended up killing my YouTube. So my first year of videos are gone. I don't know. It's just early when I was in Hollywood and Cahuenga, which was fun. But then all the big amp shootouts started, and again, those were for fun. And most of the time, I was just doing that. Those always started kind of the same way, which was like, man, I don't know what amp I want, or I don't know what. How do you try all this stuff? It's like, shit, you're in LA, everybody knows you. Just invite them all over, bring up the amps, and you get a chance to hear what a Soldano sounds like, or a Splawn, or a VH4, or you just get to hear them. That's really what was how it started, and then then they became parties, and they were cool, they were unique. To this day, that one that was in North Hollywood, we had 88 amps. I don't think that's ever been topped. And everything was recorded, and it was like 2 or 3 guitar players, clean, dirty. You got the whole deal. And I recorded everything and sent out downloads. I still have those things sometimes. I see them. But I don't know. I am OG. I've been doing this longer than anybody. I don't think anybody... Ryan Bruce, Ola, Leon Todd, I don't think any of them have been doing it as long as me. Because like I said, whatever year my YouTube started, which was probably 03, I already had done it for a year. But the thing is that I didn't know the world. I didn't understand that people subscribed and thumbs up and comment. I didn't barely even know that people were commenting. I don't know. It wasn't until 10 years ago when I started losing weight and I started watching fitness and keto, and that all of a sudden I was everybody's oh, getting subscribers, and I was oh, and then I was oh, this is what they've been doing with music. I didn't know it, unfortunately. You look at what I've ever got. I got 8,600 followers. I could have probably at least 8,700, but but I never pushed anybody to subscribe. I never did collabs. Well, I did collabs, I guess. I did some nice ones. We had at one of them, I had Dave Friedman, Reinhold Bogner, Delaney Nova, Mark Cameron, the guys from Boogie, at the those were all the dudes, man. Those were all the dudes. So they're still the dudes. I don't know what's going on with Cameron. I hope he's all right. But anyway, we'll see. 800's inbounding. Somebody laid out a prophecy on the last video. Maybe I'll want to get rid of it, but just keep it, just to prove him wrong. You think that's good and stupid? You think that's a stupid idea? Probably. No, but I understand what he's saying too. So you guys have watched me flip around some gear, but a lot of my core gear is all. I mean, I'm playing the same guitar. I've been playing this thing forever. All my guitars I've had for a long time, and same Pro Tools rig, right? All right. What a video.